Alright, everybody, welcome. Let me go ahead and get this message taken off here. Here we go. Welcome to week 4 of the Bender Designs UMP Modifieds here, presented by Bender Designs and, of course, Third Party Gaming. Today we're currently awaiting our qualifying session to finish up. Let's go ahead and get a couple views of the cars. As we can see, here is Toby Kirk, as always, one of the fan favorites. I see you, Wes, the legend, Toby Kirk. We're going to watch him get done with his qualifying run right now. Looks like we're going to have somewhere between about, I would say, 6 to 8 drivers tonight. I think it might be about 10. We'll wait for everybody to get fully registered after qualifying. As always, once you see who the contenders are going to be each week, a lot of the drivers kind of start to dwindle themselves out. So I really expect these next couple weeks to be very competitive, very good racing across the board. And I'm very sad I wasn't up here last week. Toby Kirk, at one point, I saw him in the lead, and I was talking about us the one time I could have had him on the broadcast. I apologize for everybody who hasn't seen us in a while. I personally had surgery to get some teeth taken out. I didn't realize how big of a monster a wisdom tooth was. So after getting multiple of them bitches taken out, I was out of commission for talking last week. So I do apologize. We'll have broadcast fully up for the rest of the season from this point forward. Let's go ahead and take a look at another car out on the track. We'll take a look at the 27 of Ty Williams, as everybody's making their qualifying runs right now. We'll go ahead and do a quick overview of what's been going on in the league to this point. As always, we are in week 4 of the Vendor Decide UMB Modified, so I need to go ahead and get myself disabled in chat so we don't have to listen to them. But for now, let me go ahead and go over the current point standings. So the current points for week 3, your first place points leader right now is going to be Colton Zimmer. Colton Zimmer has already locked in his position into the playoffs with a win, as well as being the points leader of 155 points. You do have to hit 200 points as a points minimum to make the playoffs, but at his rate, he should be able to hit it this week, no problem. Second place currently is going to be Dylan Patterson. Dylan Patterson hasn't got a win yet, but he's sitting about 13 points behind Colton and been very consistent with top 5s all the way through. I believe this is going to be his drop week, so we're not going to see him tonight. Third place is going to be Charles New, the third. Been very consistent, couple top 3s, top 5s as well. He's sitting about 25 points back, so he's going to be looking to get a win to lock himself in. Fourth place is going to be Ty Williams, only 3 points behind Charles. I know them two are teammates, but, you know, no holds bars when you're trying to go for the win. I understand that. Fifth is going to be held by Christopher Hibbs for our points. Sixth place will be James Murphy. Seventh will be Bo Stenzel. He's got 2 wins already, though, so he is good to go for the playoffs, barring the points minimum. Eighth is Sam Stevenson. Ninth, Drew Junkman. And that gatekeeper spot for the playoffs right now is being held by your fan favorite, Toby Kirk, in 10th place. Just wanted to do a quick overview for where we're sitting in points. I'll go ahead and try to get that graphic up here on OBS in the future so everybody, all you guys can see it as well. While we are waiting, let's go ahead and take a look at our qualifying order. Looks like our pole sitter tonight is going to be the 65 machine of James Murphy with a 13.47 lap time. Outside pole is going to be Ty Williams. Third place is currently held by Colton Zimmer. Fourth place is going to be held by Dalton Bragg. Fifth place is going to be the 77 machine of Samuel Stevenson. Sixth will be the number 10 car of Charles New the third. The 7th place will be held by the number 11 car of Landon Rogers. 8th place will be held by the number 25 of Christopher Hibbs. And your fan favorite, and probably the car to beat tonight, is going to be held by 9th place, number 7th, Toby Kirk. Wes, you are correct. If you are not first, you are last. And damn it, Toby is representing that statement right now. 10th might cut it, though, for the playoffs. I will say this. That's the gatekeeper spot. As long as he's in it, I mean, you can win it. You never know what can happen there. I see mine and the race control admin's names popping up there, so it looks like we're getting ready to advance into our first session of heats. We should be running, I believe, 2 heat race sessions tonight. Those heat race sessions, if I am correct, will be 8 laps each, or 10 minutes, whichever one takes first. Hopefully it's not just 10 minutes. That would be horrible. And we'll go from there. With me not doing race control, I know I normally will want to green it, but I believe Max likes to let everybody run through, so we'll kind of wait and see. I'll make that call as I see it. Pole sitter for this heat is going to be the 65 machine of James Murphy, followed by the number 20 of Colton Zimmer. Third place is going to be held by the number 77 of Samuel Stevenson, followed by the number 11 of Landon Rogers. And rounding out the tail is going to be the number 7 machine of Toby Kirk. So we'll go ahead and wait a couple minutes. I wonder if they're waiting on me. Very good possibility. They are. That's a damn shame. And if I wanted to, I could get in this race right now, boys. You talk about really goofing up a session. I could just ruin the whole thing right now. We're not going to do that, though. Man, wouldn't that be interesting one day? I could really throw off this whole entire broadcast and this whole entire league. That'd be a good one. Might have to have you guys in chat tell me to do that one day and let you decide what I do. All jokes aside, with me jumping in there and jumping back out, that should advance the timer, so we should be starting this race very shortly. I was going to say, before we get started, go ahead and give me your guys' predictions. Who do you... Oh. Forgot to actually do that. Thank you, Max. I am so sorry to everybody in the chat. I am fixing it. I'm sorry. I am so sorry about that. You guys can tell I am just now getting here and getting everything turned on. Don't be a lineman after a hurricane. You just have so much work after you. I'm so sorry that we're unprepared right now, but we'll get everything on and going for you. There we go. I see the car starting to move. We should be getting ready to go green flag racing. I do see the 1 to green sign, so it looks like he did advance it to 1 to green, so we're going to take the green flag. This is next time around. Pace truck will be coming off the track, and James Murphy is going to take him around to your green flag. Like I said, guys, go ahead and give me your opinion, who you think is going to win. My bold prediction, not really a bold one. I'm going to keep it simple for this first heat. I think James Murphy's going to get it done, but you can't count out Colton Zimmer. That is a very strong car right there in the number 20 machine, as well as the number 11 of Landon Rogers. I know he has a lot of speed as well. I mean, it's a pretty stacked lineup across the board. I lied. Apparently, we're going to go 1 to green this time by, looks like my overlay at the top right lied to us, so I do apologize about that. But we'll go ahead and get ready to go green flag racing. James Murphy is going to bring him around, coming into turn 4. Pace truck's off the track. He's sending it around the front stretch. We got a green flag. Colton Zimmer's going to follow in right behind him as they're going to both take it on the inside line. See the number 11 and Landon Rogers taking it on that outside as James Murphy's going to lead him into turn 3 here. Looks like he's got a pretty, I wouldn't say commanding lead by any means of the word, but he's able to get a very clean lap, able to be their first leader of week 4 for the Bender Design UMP Modifieds. Colton Zimmer's not giving him an inch, Joe. He's 0.2 of a second behind him, and Landon Rogers is right on his bumper as well. After that, it seems like Samuel Stevenson and Toby Kirk are following on in the back. But let's go ahead and see how this fight for the second place is going on right now. So you got Landon Rogers trying to see what he can do, catching up to Colton Zimmer. Let's get a view from the cockpit and kind of see what he can see. Halfway point there, you see Landon Rogers had to get off it a little bit going into turn 1. He almost got into the number 20 of Colton Zimmer. It is a pretty tricky track here at Lanier. The way we run everything here, we will start everything off with a beautiful fresh track, and we're going to let it run the whole way through. We're not bringing a water truck out, we're not regenning, we're not doing anything like that. We let it run, so the track you're looking at right now is going to be a night and day difference from the track you're going to see in the feature. As James Murphy's going to take him around, and we got 2 laps to go. He's getting ready to bring him around to the white flag right now. You're looking at the same order you looked at the end of lap 1 as right now. James Murphy first, Colton Zimmer second, Landon Rogers third, Samuel Stevens fourth, and Toby Kirk rounding out the rear. Coming into the last turn, let's see if anybody's got anything for James Murphy. James Murphy wins Heat 1. Like I said, I played it safe with my pick of James Murphy to win it. I'm Also kind of helps that I've seen him race, especially in week 1, and that is a very fast car for anybody who hadn't seen him before. I look for him to be a very big favorite to potentially take everything home tonight as we get ready for heat number 2. As we are waiting right now for all the cars to get lined up, let's go ahead and go over our starting order. Starting out pole is going to be the number 27 car, Ty Williams, followed by the number 5 car of Dalton Bragg. Starting second row inside is going to be the number 10 car of Charles New III. Excuse me. And on his outside is going to be Christopher Hibbs in that number 25 machine. And rounding out the rear is going to be Drew Junkman in the number 9 car. Same story. I don't think they're going to go on the green. I don't think they're going to advance it right off the rip. We're going to go ahead and see. I still see a pace truck in front of me, so I think we are good to go. They're going to be going 1 to green this time by, everybody. Go ahead and give me your picks. Who do you think is going to win this race? I think there's a lot of interesting cars here. I'm going to take a shot in the dark, and I think Drew Junkman's going to get it done in that 9 car. I think he's playing that little hustler game. I don't think he's as bad as his qualifying time might have said, being in last place. We'll see what he can do and see if he can get it done, but my pick's going to be that number 9 car, Drew Junkman. Ty Williams takes him around the front stretch. He's got a dang good start and a heck of a lead. He's taking him around for the green flag. Charles New's going to follow right under him with Dalton Bragg and Christopher Hibbs taking the outside. From what I can see, that outside line is not there. Ty Williams is going to lead him around on the inside with Charles right behind him. Dalton Bragg falling all the way back to 5th. Drew Junkman taking that 3rd place spot, and Ty Williams is going to be your lap 1 leader. As you can see, he's still got a commanding lead, but let's take a look at the 2nd place battle. It's starting to form between Drew Junkman and Charles New III. Charles New is no slouch as well. I see this being a good battle for the next few laps. Christopher Hibbs in that 4th place spot is trying to make that outside line work, but it's looking like a 1-lane track at the moment as we wait for everything to get worked in. Excuse me. Ty Williams is going to be your leader coming around the lap 3. As we get around the halfway point, we got a kind of a domino effect. Cars touch. It looks like they keep it together as we're going to go ahead and keep it going around. Christopher Hibbs looks like he was in the worst part of that one, unfortunately. Ty Williams is still going to be your leader as we bring it around to the halfway point. Charles New III still sitting in 2nd while we got Drew Junkman right behind him. I knew he was my pick to win it. I knew he was going to try what he could to get up there. He's a fast car, but Charles New is no slouch as well. He's a very fast competitor. He's doing what he can to try to hold him off or make up any ground he can. That's a heck of a battle we got going on for 2nd. 2 laps to go. I don't think anybody's going to have anything for Ty, but this is the only battle we got going on the track. Drew Junkman's going to go for the slider. Charles New comes in for the crossover. We got the white flag right here. They're going to touch. That's not enough track for both of them. They managed to make it work. Drew Junkman's going to commit to that low line slider, I think. Charles knew it was coming and immediately hit it with the crossover. Let's see who leads it. Charles New gets 2nd. Drew Junkman for 3rd. Heck of a race by both of those cars. Dalton Bragg will be 4th place, and Christopher Hibbs is going to round out your top 5. From here, as always, we are going to do a 3-minute warm-up. There is an EOL challenge for the modifieds now, just like there was for the sprint cars at one point. How that is going to be ran is top 2 drivers, James Murphy and Ty Williams, will get the opportunity to accept the EOL challenge, where they will have to forfeit their pole or outside pole positions and start from the back. If they are able to come all the way up through the field and win the race, they would end up winning that money. Now, to be eligible for that, you have to elect before the race that you would like to take the EOL and start from the back. We've had a couple times where someone gets in a wreck, they go from the lead to the back, and they say, "Oh, I won. Can I have the EOL challenge?" No, you gotta elect now to do it. That's about the only fair way we can go about that. So other than that, we're gonna go ahead and let this this warm-up session run through, give everybody a chance to run their tires, get the track worn in a little bit, and we will be right back in about a minute and a half to get ready to go racing. Ready for this race session. We are about ready to go. Good chat. Who do you guys think is going to be the winner of this race? We'll go ahead and wait for everything to get loaded up. It is either going to be, let's see how many laps we got tonight. I ain't gonna tell me we're gonna cheat. 40 lap feature. As we wait for everybody to get out on the track, get lined up, get gridded up here, let's go ahead and take a look at our starting lineup. As always, pole position, as we said before, number 65, James Murphy. Second place, outside pole, is going to be the number 27 machine of Ty Williams. Third place is going to be held by number 20, Colton Zimmer. Fourth place will be held by number 10, Charles New III. And fifth place will be held by the number 11 car, Landon Rogers. Sixth place is going to be held by Drew Junkman. Seventh will be Samuel Stevenson. Dalton Bragg will be holding an 8th place spot. Toby Kirk, the fan favorite, is going to be holding the 9th place position, with Christopher Hibbs rounding out the field in 10th place. We're going to sit here. I believe we are going to have 2 to green, so ignore the overlay at the top. We're going to have one more lap as they go around before the green flag. Who is your guys' pick to win? I was right on the first heat, wrong on the second heat. Let's see if I can knock it out for the feature. I feel like James Murphy and Ty Williams have got to be the favorites, but I'm going to throw a wrinkle in everybody's picks. I think Colton Zimmer is going to get it done tonight. Colton Zimmer is a very fast car. He's involved heavily with the late models here as well. Every race I've seen him in, I've seen him in the top 3, and I think tonight's just going to be the night he gets everything done. Everything comes together, and he's going to get him another win. So, go ahead and see how everything comes together. We are 1 to green right now, as James Murphy is going to be the one to bring them around to that green flag. Who do you guys think's going to win? Give me your picks in the chat, and let's get ready to race. And here we go. Green flag racing right here. James Murphy's going to lead him around the front stretch. Ty Williams got a heck of a run right behind him with Colton Zimmer trying to make some headway on that inside line, holding 3 wide as we come around turn 2. James Murphy is holding that outside line with Ty right under him. Colton's there too, and Drew Junkman's trying to make his way down there. You got almost a 4-way fight for first as we got 1 lap in already. Colton Zimmer's going to take the worst end of that as James Murphy is going to be the one to lead him around. Drew Junkman already in that 3rd place spot, and Charles New III is going to round out your top 5 as he's battling with Dalton Bragg back there. Let's take a look at that battle for a second. You almost got 3 wide, 2 wide racing across the board going on in the back. Dalton Bragg trying to see what he could do, make that outside line work. I think the outside is going to be a very, very good line, especially coming around lap 25, lap 30, when the inside line is just not going to have as much grip as it did at the beginning of this race. I don't think our leaders are going to be able to stay down there all night like they have been in the past. That top 4, holy crap. James Murphy, Ty Williams, Drew Junkman, Colton Zimmer. There's not much room between all those cars. No room for error at all. I mean, any slip up, you're talking about not just taking yourself out, but potentially taking out the car in front of you or behind you. James Murphy is going to be your lap 5 leader. He's led all 5 of them so far, and he's not looking to slow down anytime soon. Ty Williams is all over his bumper, though. He's not giving him any space. Drew Junkman's right there as well with Colton Zimmer. They're just waiting for somebody to make a mistake. It is all momentum right here. And as soon as somebody lets off, they are done. Let's see who's going to be able to make it work for 40 laps here for the Bender Design UMP Modifieds. Ty Williams is going to throw that slider though, but James Murphy with the crossover, as soon as he comes out of turn 4, he's still going to hold the lead for that lap. What did that do though? That gave the opportunity for Drew Junkman and Colton Zimmer to kind of make an opportunity to make a run. Unfortunately, that contact, anytime something happens, it's going to slow you down. But if they're going to throw sliders and crossovers every lap, that's going to slow them down just as much. So we'll have to see how this race is going to unfold. And I think Ty Williams might lead this lap. Ty Williams is your leader in lap 10. Drew Junkman's trying to see what he can do on the bottom as well. I don't know if James Murphy got bumped, maybe got out of position. Not really sure how it ended up happening, but I think Drew Junkman's going to see what he can do to take advantage, as well as Colton Zimmer. Like I said, it's all momentum, as Ty Williams was able to kind of break the momentum of James right there, and everybody else is trying to follow suit. This top 4 is about as tight as it gets right here, and if they keep racing as hard as they are, you're going to see Landon Rogers and that 11 car start to sneak in, as well as Charles New and Dalton Bragg in the 10 and 5 car down there. This is going to be a heck of a race, especially if we stay like this for 40 laps. Aiden B, I agree with you. It is phenomenal racing out here tonight. I'm very happy to be out here. I hope you guys are having a great view of this show as well. Ty Williams is still going to be the leader at lap 14, but James Murphy is on his bumper. Ooh, they save it. Oh my gosh, they got together. James Murphy got a heck of a run. Ty Williams got around them. They all checked up in time to save it. Colton Zimmer was slightly involved. I don't know how nobody ended up wrecking right there. That was phenomenal racing by everybody across the board, as we have pretty much a 3-way fight for third, as well as a fight for the lead right now. 2 wide racing going on the outside right there between James Murphy and Colton Zimmer, essentially calling 3 wide with Landon Rogers holding that inside line. Like I said, he's going to be able to make an appearance into this race, especially if these 4 fighting each other as hard as they are. It's only going to lead in for more cars to follow in behind them. Ooh, I think behind there, I think it was Dalton Bragg I saw getting spun around. That's going to lead us to our first caution of the night. Let me go ahead and get backed up there. Yeah, not sure specifically on what happened on that one. We'll take a look at that at half speed for a second. It looks like Dalton Bragg and Charles New ended up getting into each other on the end of turn 4 right there, and that's what ended up causing that. Let's see if I can get a little bit better view from a far chase angle. It really just looks like they were both fighting for that inside line, and they're just wanting enough racetrack for both of them to make it happen. Unfortunately, Dalton Bragg got the worst end of that, and he's unfortunately going to make it into our first yellow flag of the night. As always, we do have faster pairs on. You do got 1 faster pair for our league, and after that, you typically get 4 laps of pace time with each caution for the chance to do any kind of repairs or anything like that you would need to do. Excuse me. Usually where that will come into play is, let's say, points are a real big factor, especially playoff time, and you got drivers trying to fight for every position, every point they can get. Will give them an opportunity to get everything fixed on their vehicles. So I'm not really sure if when they called that caution, I kind of missed what happened at the front. I know there was very intense 3 wide, 4 wide, 2 wide racing across the board between first and second, as well as that 3-way battle for third. It looks like in the aftermath of that, Drew Junkman is going to be our leader, with Ty Williams holding that second place spot. James Murphy is going to be sitting in third place in a 65 machine, with Landon Rogers holding outside second row, and Colton Zimmer is going to round out our top 5. After that, Charles New III is going to be in 6th, with Christopher Hibbs holding out 7th place. Samuel Stevenson will be sitting in the 8th place spot, with Toby Kirk in 9th. And Dalton Bragg, who was the one involved in that caution, I believe he is out of the race due to vehicle damage, so he is currently being scored as 10th. I got the 1 to green marker right now on our overlay, so we're getting ready to go 1 to green here. Drew Junkman is going to be our leader that takes him in the front stretch here coming out of turn 4. Who do you guys think's going to get it done? Tell you what, I picked Colton Zimmer. He's not looking good right now, but I still believe in him. He moved back to 5th. I see him moving up to the front. Here we go, green flag racing. Heck of a start by Drew. He's going to go ahead and get a nice lead coming off turn 2, but Ty Williams is right on his bumper with James Murphy there too. We got a yellow flag out. It looks like Samuel Stevenson's involved here. Let's go ahead and take a look at what happened specifically. I probably could bump this up a little quicker. It looks like that's Charles New III. Let me get paused. Alrighty. We'll go ahead and take a slow-mo view and take a look at what happened. So it looks like essentially just a snowball effect or a domino effect of cars getting into each other right there between the number 20 of Colton Zimmer, the number 25 of Christopher Hibbs, number 10 of Charles New. Once they all got together, the number 77 of Samuel Stevenson. Just, I don't know if he didn't have time to lift, didn't have nowhere to go. Unfortunately, that's going to be what brings out our second caution flag of the night. We'll go ahead and let this finish out here. Everybody can see what happened, and let's go ahead and get caught back up with our leaders. First green flag run, phenomenal. Second green flag run did not last very long at all. Let's see if we can at the very least have a happy middle between the two. I think Race Control was able to score that incident very easily, and there are no cars damaged on pit road, so it looks like we're going green flag racing this time by if the pace truck's doing correctly. Drew Junkman takes him around, and here we go, green flag racing. Ty Williams going to see what he can do to make that outside line work. You got James Murphy holding that third place line. Colton Zimmer, here he comes on that outside. He was able to get around Christopher Hibbs before that caution came out, and he was able to salvage that 4th place spot. Let's see if he could take advantage of it. You got 2 wide racing going on for second. Drew Junkman's going to be your leader after that caution. Here we are, back to that 4-way battle. James Murphy's back. He was racing Ty the whole race. Now he says, Drew, this is my lead. I'm coming to take it. He's trying to make that inside line happen. Drew Junkman ended up taking a right rear right there, and it kind of bumped him to the outside. Could be a curved blessing in disguise, because I think he might have found some speed up there. He got a heck of a run coming down to that turn, and I think he's going to be able to make it work. Colton Zimmer said, I see what you're doing, and I'm coming to match it. You see he almost beelined immediately to that outside line. I think he saw the speed and he was coming to match it, but let's see who can make it happen. You got James Murphy on that inside line. He's going to lead that lap, I believe. Nope, it was Drew Junkman that still led that lap, but he's seeing what he could do. Colton Zimmer is right behind him. You're watching inside versus outside, a classic battle in the dirt track world. We're going to see who can end up making it work. I think James Murphy's going to lead that lap, but Drew Junkman is not giving up. Colton Zimmer's trying to follow in James Murphy's shoes. He says, you're the leader, I'm coming right behind you, and I'm copying your line. Drew Junkman's not abandoning the outside, though. That inside line is definitely going to wear out quicker when you got more cars down there riding it, so Drew might have something going up there. You spend about 15-20 laps getting the high side down, you're going to be better than anybody else who tries to do it for the next 3 or 5 laps. So He might have a good strategy going on right there. He's falling back to third, though. Colton Zimmer is going to take that second place spot. 15 laps to go. I don't know if the high side is the move. Drew Junkman had it in the beginning, but now that these cars are starting to get some momentum, James Murphy's starting to take off a little bit. Colton Zimmer is on his bumper, and Ty Williams is trying to close that gap now and take that third place spot, trying to follow on the inside with those two. That James Murphy machine is looking real good. That number 65 car holding the first place lead right now of about 0.2 of a second. Drew Junkman, it looks like he is migrating down to the bottom. He did everything he could to make the top work. It's not going to work. He's got a little bit of damage on the right front of that number 9 modified. I don't know if that's going to hinder him or not. Let's see in the waning 10 laps to go. Ty Williams is going to be right there on his inside as we see Drew kind of still trying to make that middle to outside work. I don't think he's going to abandon it, but you're starting to see that track get a lot shinier, a lot slicker. That track's going to get a lot harder to control, especially if all that speed you're sending into the inside as we take our third yellow of the night. Looks like it's going to be Christopher Hibbs that's caught up in that one. Let's back up a little bit and see what happened. So it looks like there was some hard racing going on between the number 77 machine of Samuel Stevenson and the number 25 of Christopher Hibbs. Looks like I was saying, I think that slick, like I said, that shiny part of the track, I literally just brought it up. It's funny how that one happened. The quicker you go into that, it is going to start slicking up big time. Your tires are going to spin. You're going to lose traction on your car. And I think, unfortunately, the worst of that just ended up happening for the number 25 machine of Christopher Hibbs. Luckily, he was able to save that car. I don't see any damage. It doesn't look like he hit the inside wall. And Samuel Stevenson with great awareness to get around him as well. Let's go ahead and get caught back up to our leaders as we get ready to go green. And if I'm seeing that correctly, that is going to be James Murphy entering pit road. James Murphy, your leader, has entered pit road. I believe he is using this opportunity to utilize that fast repair. I don't know if he ended up catching any damage, possibly. Let's see if we can look at the previous lap and see if something happened here. I don't know if he hit a tire. We are still on the green flag racing. It goes to yellow right here. Did something happen? Did something break? I don't know if you guys see anything. Him and Drew right here, they end up getting into each other. Him and Drew, wow. We'll have to see what race control decides to do about that one. That's an interesting concept, but that is why your leader, the number 65 of James Murphy, had to end up going into the pits. Go ahead and get caught back up. It looks like race control ended up giving him his position back. I know that's one of the pet peeve rules we have here at 3PG. We do not want cars making contact with each other under caution. So we'll have to see how race control decides to make that rule. I'm sure there'll be a penalty of some kind after that. Like I said, because that's a literal pet peeve, like smack dab, I'm pretty sure rule number 1 in the rule book. But we'll address that later on as we wait for everybody to get lined up for this fourth restart of ours, as we are sitting here with 10 laps to go. Go ahead and take a look at our current lineups right now. It looks like we're sitting with James Murphy in the lead. Colton Zimmer, my pick to win it in that second place car, the number 20. Third place is going to be held by, I believe it's going to be Ty Williams now instead of Drew Junkman. I think since Drew Junkman did that incident after the caution, that is going to put him to the rear. If anybody has any questions, ask in chat. I'll get clarification on that from race control after that, but I know just how we normally run everything. I believe that's how that was scored, looking at the current standings. Landon Rogers is going to benefit from that, and he's going to go from 5th to 4th. Christopher Hibbs, I know he was involved in that caution, so from 4th, God, I can't talk today, Jesus. Drew Junkman got sent to the tail. 4th and 5th got moved up a car, and we'll see how everything lined back up as we get ready to go green flag racing, because Christopher Hibbs was the one involved. I know he scored at least one position lower. Other than that, while we're waiting to go green flag, if anybody has any recommendations on any kind of overlays or anything to use, let me know. Don't get me wrong, I love sim racing apps. Free overlays, I'm able to pull these up very quickly before every race. They work very well with OBS. Awesome, awesome service. But it obviously could be better at the same time. So, if anyone has any recommendations, I'm trying to make this as nice and as pretty as I can, and as professional as I can for you guys in here in chat, as well as the racers, so they can use it for their own content as well. Go ahead and let us know what we can do better, because if there's something we can do better, we want to do it. We want to make this as authentic and as good as a racing experience as we possibly can. With all that being said, we are going green flag racing this time by James Murphy's going to lead him around. You got 10 to go. Colton Zimmer, here he comes. Outside pole. Ty Williams is going to try to make a run on that inside. Who's going to lead him after this first lap? We got 10 to go. They're bunching up in turn 1. I don't know if they're going to make it out. I saw Landon Rogers. Drew Junkman up there is getting into Toby Kirk. That's a... I don't even want to make a comment yet till we rewatch that. Let me go ahead and get line back up. Let's take a pick. I'm going to go with Drew Junkman, and let's take a look at what we could see. So it doesn't look bad. So about right here. Right here is where it all goofs up. Let me see if I can get a little bit better angle. That's a very good angle. Honestly, it just looks like a lot of cars were fighting for that same lane. I don't know if maybe Drew Junkman sent it in a little bit harder than everybody else. You could tell he's going a little faster, but mind you, I am using the half speed right here and quarter speed. So it does make it look a little more egregious. We'll let race control make that call on what happened there. It looks like that's essentially what happened on that incident. You had a lot of cars fighting for that inside line, and you know, there's not a lot of room to give. I can't just create more track for everybody, unfortunately. So everybody fighting for that line, that's what ended up holding everything back. Let's go ahead and get caught back up with our leaders. With it being under 10 to go at that 9 to go mark now and being a caution, I believe that is going to move us to single file restarts for the rest of the session. We had a real good session going here. I believe it was only 4 cautions at that point. At one point we had like an 18 lap green flag run, some of the best racing we've seen in the season so far. Kind of got that a little sloppy since then, but I think we're going to be able to get it cleaned up. Like I said, and I say this every time I see him, if anybody is looking for an A mod right now, the number 65 machine of James Murphy has one for sale. As you can see, that for sale sign. If anybody needs anything there, go ahead and give him a call. I don't know. Yeah, we can see it right here, for sale. As you can see, it looks like he's just kidding. Looks like we just need to get in the shop and work on our own stuff. As you can see, by 1-800, you're still slow. He is letting this whole chat know that we still can't catch him. Let's go ahead and see if that 65 machine is going to be able to make it into that victory lane today and be able to show off that sign, because it's a nice one. I do approve of it. Go ahead and get lined back up here. I believe we're getting ready to go green flag racing. It looks like they doubled them back up for at least one more before we go to single file starts if needed. We are 1 to green right now as we're bringing them around. Go. Green flag racing this time by James Murphy's going to bring him around. Colton Zimmer's right on his bumper. When I say right there, I think they touched. As they come around, Colton Zimmer's going to be right on him. Ty Williams is trying to do everything he can, but he's already about a half second behind. He sends it as hard inside as he can to make up ground, but you're going to see James Murphy and Colton Zimmer kind of create their own little gap. 7 laps to go this time. Like I said, that track is getting real slick now. You can see it starting to slick off, getting real shiny, a lot more throttle control required. Drew Junkman trying to work that outside line. He did it for half the race. He knows how to run it. And see if he can become a factor as we're coming around with 6 to go. Drew Junkman's in 4th, Ty Williams 3rd, Colton Zimmer 2nd. James Murphy's going to be your leader. What do you think Colton Zimmer's going to do? I think he's going to make that move, but I think he's waiting until about 2 or 3 laps to go, because if he makes that move now and he's unsuccessful, you're going to have Ty Williams and Drew Junkman on your, maybe even Landon Rogers too, on your bumper. If you're unsuccessful in making this slider or last lap pass work and you do it too early, you could give up 3 or 4 spots. I think Colton Zimmer's going to wait till the last lap because he knows that. And I think Ty Williams also thinks that as well, and he might force Colton to make a move quicker. He is on his bumper. But what do you want to do if you see that Drew Junkman machine? You watched him run on the outside for about 20 laps there. You know he's confident in himself enough to do it. And if he can get that car hooked up, he might be able to make it work because we're 2 laps to go. As you can see, Colton Zimmer, he's dipping that left or right front tire further and further to James. I think he's trying to set himself up now. Watch this turn. I bet he's going to set himself up for the last lap. Last lap right here. White flag is time by. James Murphy's going to lead him around. Colton Zimmer's the only one that has something for him. Is he going to be able to make something happen? Oh, he turns him. Colton Zimmer turns James Murphy for the win. Oh my gosh. Gets into his right rear and ends up turning him around the corner for the win. As it scores right now, Colton Zimmer, your first place finisher, Ty Williams in second, Drew Junkman in third, James Murphy comes across in fourth, Landon Rogers in fifth, Christopher Hibbs sixth, Samuel Stevens in seventh, Toby Kirk in eighth place, Charles New the third and ninth, and rounding out our running order today in our top 10, Dalton Bragg in 10th. Like I said on the last lap incident, as it stands unofficially right now, it looks like Colton Zimmer is going to be your winner. For Colton, that is going to be his second win of the season. He is obviously going to stay the points leader as of right now. We will go ahead, and if any penalties or anything like that are administered, race control and all of us admins here will make everything posted in Discord. Give everybody about 2 minutes here. I'm going to get everybody dragged down here, and we will get ready for interviews. There we go. We are live. All right, everybody. Thank you for waiting here. We do have two of the top three finishers from that session. Third place here we're going to have unofficially, and I don't think he'll have anything to worry about except for maybe moving up. It's going to be the number 9 car here of Drew Junkman. Drew, first off, I want to say congratulations. You ran a heck of a race, from start to finish. You at one point started last in that heat where you kind of messing with everybody's heads? Did you just not have the setup? Had a heck of a change from start to finish. What you got going there? Were you messing with everybody's heads?
No, well, usually it's 10-minute or 20-minute practice, and it's only 10 minutes. So I went, I left, and I went and did something else. When I came back, we were already in the heat races. So
No, yeah, you were fine. We were sitting here. We had like 5 people in chat, and we were like, Drew Junkman in last on the Heat? We were confused. Oh, but heck of a finish. I mean, even starting out, so far back from qualifying, you were able to make a heck of a run. You got any sponsors or anybody you want to thank?
no.
Perfect, easy enough. Well, congratulations, unofficially on our third place finisher, Drew Junkman. Moving on now, we're going to have second place, unofficially as of right now. Don't think he has to worry about moving down, if anything. Ty Williams. First off, Ty, congratulations, another strong showing, and I know it's not even your main car. Got to make you feel great as far as for modifieds as a whole, and really for both series as a whole. Do you think you're a contender to win them both?
Yeah, I feel like in pretty good shape for both sprints and mods. Um, Everybody over here at Slider Die is definitely putting in some good work
At
to
this
get
point,
us past.
you might want to tell him to buy you a late model.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Kind of seen that little horror deal right in front of me happen, and feel bad for James. I had to capitalize on it, and
You definitely got to do what you
after.
got to do on that. And it's like I said in the broadcast, I'm sure there's going to be a call of some kind made on that. Well, that's why I made sure I announced everything unofficially as we go ahead and review that incident accordingly. So as it sits right now, you kind of know where we're at on positioning. Do you got any sponsors or anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody back at Slider Die. I got Stephen Perkins, Gavin, Dalton, Corey, Charles, all them guys helped me out getting these cars good and brought out the backup car tonight and it worked.
I might as well be the main car at this point. I don't think you have anything to worry about there. Other than that, I don't see. Let me make sure he's not in our chats. I don't see Colton Zimmer anywhere, so we'll go ahead and end the broadcast interviews there. Like I said, for anybody else wondering in chat, I'll get everybody updated on points, penalties, and all of that good stuff after. And other than that, I will see everybody next week, or yep, next week for week 5 of the 360 sprints. Let me see where they are at for everybody. Looks like for week 5 for the sprint cars, we are going to be at Lernerville. I can't wait to see how many sprint cars we're going to see go over that wall. I'm sure it's going to be an interesting race. For the UMPs for week 5, exactly 1 week from today, we're also going to be at Lernerville. So can't wait to see everybody over there then.